Areas in southeastern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan might even get a thunderstorm tonight. Just a weird system. Whew, it is weird. And I am soaking wet right now. Oh my goodness. Stay tuned for updates.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Well, good evening, good afternoon. It is Brandon Houck here, and this is the Comedeorological Report, and we are outside in the puddle. Yes, we're starting the show in the puddle. That's what we do around here, and we're waiting for a fairly convective band of snow to move in the next, say, half hour or so. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we might hop back outside here later on in the hour if things get real tense in this hour here. But we've got the Comedeorological Report, the panelists here. We've got the Joey only. We also got Mark Engels here, and we've got Michael McGregor and Hilding Donaldson, the cast of characters on many radio stations, Winnipeg, Prince George, Kamloops, as well as Rogers TV in Victoria, BC. And we're going to send things right back inside with the one and only Frankie McDonald to kick things all off.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
I'm doing great so far. Weather all across Nova Scotia. Rain's going to change to lots of snow, change it back to rain non-stop because that time of the year. And down in California, it's going to get colder and average temperature is going to bring rain and showers and snow showers in Los Angeles, including Vegas and all the way down Arizona, Utah, and places like Colorado and New Mexico and Idaho and Montana. It's going to bring really cold temperatures to rain zone mix all across California, Oregon, Washington, even Vancouver too. Then it got really warm air to Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. Then you got a lingering low pressure system with snow in New Brunswick, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, all the way down to North Carolina. And lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Central America right now. Down South America, lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in South America, like Brazil and Argentina, including lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in Colombia, Ecuador, parts of Peru, and Bolivia, and Amazon rainforest as well. It's really, really, really dry in northern Chile right now, in northern Argentina. It's lots of rain in southern coast of Chile, snow up in the mountains of southern Chile. Because they're in the fall of the year, Falkland Islands are getting colder right now. Pretty soon will be starting to snow in Falkland Islands down South America because they're in the fall now. There's a big storm heading for the United Kingdom, and it's even bringing snow up in Scotland too. And lots of big storms heading for England, and low pressure system off the west coast, northwest coast of Ireland is 945 millibars. Bringing really, really strong winds up in the United Kingdom right now. It's a powerful wind heading for Ireland. It's a big windstorm in Ireland, in England, Wales, Scotland, and all those places. And again, lots of storms heading for England. England's a stormy time. Then it got snow up in southern Norway, southern Sweden, and Finland. It's nice out in Finland, and western Russia is really dry there. Rain in Poland right now. And it's dry in Belarus. And then you got some snow and rain heading for western Russia as well. And there's a really cold air heading for Egypt. It's got really hot air in Africa right now. In the western Pacific, like Japan, there's a high pressure system in northern Japan. Lots of showers in southern Japan. There's storms coming off the coast of Japan. Lots of rain in southern China right now. It's extremely hot in Bangladesh right now. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Indonesia right now, and Papua New Guinea and all those countries. And it's really cold in Mongolia. Siberian warming air is warming up. And Mongolia is gradually warming up as well. And in places like in India, it's really, really, really hot there right now. It's going to get dangerously hot in India. It's their summertime right now. In a couple of months, monsoon season is going to start there. It's really cold. north of Nepal and Tibet is really cold there. In Tibet, it's still really cold in Tibet in those places. And they got some sharp temperature contrast up in the mountains in Nepal from hot air to cold air. What about in Africa? That means Mozambique, Madagascar, and Angola. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on right now. In South Africa, there's a stormy weather heading for South Africa. This Sunday coming up, lots of rain and wind in Cape Town and Johannesburg, South Africa, and Mozambique and those places right now. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in southern Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all those places. Lario and the Mauritius Islands right now. And down in Australia, lots of rain going on in northern Australia. There's a thunderstorms coming off of east coast of Australia. It's autumn there right now. There's a big rainstorm heading for southern South Island, New Zealand, with lots of rain and wind. It's fall year there right now. Next month, in the second half of next month, Antarctica, we have a 24-hour darkness south of the Antarctic Circle. Then in the second half of the May, up in the Arctic will be 24-hour daylight.
I'm Joey Only, and you are listening to the Comedeorological Report. This is Frankie McDonald right now, talking about worldwide weather. We do have the panel with us as well tonight, such as Brandon Houck, the other host. Hilding Donaldson has come in from Grassy Plains, British Columbia. Good to see him. Joe Stover is here, so that is great. We finally get to see Joe Stover.
Joe Stover has returned.
Joe Stover has returned. Mike McGregor is out there in Manitoba, and meteorologist Mark Ingalls is out in Arkansas right now, where he's preparing to see the eclipse. So, Frankie, here's my next question for you before we get the panel to ask you questions.
Where's him?
Tell us about the eclipse, Frankie.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Total solar eclipses head towards eastern North America on Monday, April 8, 2024. The areas will be affected by total solar eclipses: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Southern Ontario, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Labrador. It's going to bring moon crossing over the sun that could cause dark outside in the middle of the afternoon. And it's going to be a total solar eclipse on Monday, April 8, 2024. If you people living in those areas, make sure you have your eclipse glasses ready to look at the sun. Don't look at the sun without the eclipse glasses. Make sure to have your eclipse glasses ready, because the total solar eclipse is headed for eastern North America on Monday, April 8, 2024. It's going to hit Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New York, Southern Ontario, Montreal, Quebec, Quebec City, Bonaventure, Quebec, including Bangor, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, including Sydney, Nova Scotia, Halifax, and St. John's, Newfoundland. Is going to bring total solar eclipse when the moon crosses over the sun. It gets dark out in the middle of Monday afternoon, on April 8, 2024. Be extra prepared. Don't look at the sun without the special eclipse glasses. Make sure you have your special eclipse glasses ready to look at the sun. Be extra prepared for Frank Dow. And when the moon crosses over the sun, it gets dark out in the middle of the day.
I really wish I could be there with you, Frankie. I wish I could. I really could.
Maybe take a flight over to Winnipeg and might be able to see 50% of it.
Well, 50% ain't good. You know what's going on is the Dayglow Abortions are playing. Legendary Canadian punk rock band is coming north.
Did you hear about this? Where's
like a consolation prize.
Where's Imogen Bailey?
I don't know where Imogen is. I'm sure we will see her soon. So, Frankie, what's the weather going to be like in Sydney, Nova Scotia during the eclipse? That's the question.
It's going to be nice, though, during the eclipse.
Excellent.
So is Niagara Falls. Texas, where Gary and Dino show's heading for Texas, but it's going to be dampened by cloudy weather and rainy weather down Texas early in the week next week. Gary and Dino show is supposed to be heading to Texas.
Is it like not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular.
Well, Joe Stover is in Ontario right now.
Joe Stover, can you please come over and give us a Churchill report? He's a CKUW radio host. You can never have enough Joes.
He's left Churchill, Manitoba, Frankie. Joe Stover, talk to us about the eclipse. Ask Frank. You got questions for Frankie this week, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm on a train right now, so just left London, Ontario, on my way to Windsor. Just flew into Toronto today, so it's been a good day.
Who are you sitting next
Yeah,
to?
headed to. I'm sitting next to nobody. All by my lonesome. So, but yeah, really excited to check the eclipse out on the the north shore of Lake Erie. And I mean, either way, if there's clouds, then it's just going to get dark. But praying for no clouds, and just gonna see how it goes. Enjoying this fine spring weather down here.
What kind of train is that? Is that a crazy train?
Yes, somewhat of a crazy train. Yeah, it's the old Toronto Windsor train number 75.
You got any questions for Frankie this week, Joe?
I got a big question for Frankie. How much of the sun will be covered by the moon?
That means it's going to bring close to 90% covered by the sun, covered by the moon. That means you can't look at the sun during the eclipse.
What'll happen if you look at the sun, Frankie?
It could cause blind.
Do you got any safety tips for us, Frankie, to look at the eclipse?
Have your special glasses designed for the eclipse. Like
Went to
these
the Manitoba
glasses for the
Museum.
eclipse.
Ooh, Frankie's got eclipse. Mike's got eclipse glasses.
I'm just gonna look at it raw.
I was doing the eclipse rehearsal, looking at the sun with these, doing a test, and I see a sun and things like this. I was doing a rehearsal.
Yeah, rehearsal, eh?
Hey guys, so Manitoba Museum is where I got these solar eclipse glasses. This is the kind of stuff you gotta wear during the eclipse.
They look good.
Are they big enough? They're pretty small. Like why don't they make them? Like
They
what
are
happens if
smaller
some
than you
sun gets
expect.
in?
I grabbed some from NASA when I was at AMS, and they're about the same size as these that Michael's got.
Even NASA has the small ones. Frankie, is the eclipse because they have to sew up a big zipper in the fabric of the dome that surrounds us?
It's going to hit Texas. It's going to hit Southern Ontario. It's going to hit parts of Kentucky. It's going to hit Arkansas. It's going to hit Missouri and all these places. Illinois, Indiana, parts of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, all those places.
I didn't think it was true either. Mark Ingalls, he's down in Arkansas right now, and we'll get to everyone's specific weather segments, but we want to talk about the eclipse right now. He's in Arkansas. Mark, do you have questions for Frankie about viewing the eclipse this week?
I actually really want to know, Frankie, are you gonna drive up to that little sliver of Nova Scotia that gets totality? Are you going up there? Or are you staying in Sydney?
And staying in Sydney. The Compound Media is heading to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Sunday. Compound Media is heading for Sydney on Sunday.
What are you guys going to do together? Are you going to go sing karaoke?
That means they'll be meeting and things like this, and it'll look great and things like this. Talking about the eclipse. The Compound Media guy, one of the guys at Compound Media.
I wish I could be there.
Frankie,
Well, Mike,
I want to come sing karaoke with you, and I want to sing Total Eclipse of the Heart.
When the moon crosses over the sun.
is it a bad omen, Frankie? Does that mean that there'll be famine and plagues? Does it mean that the alien overlords are angry?
That means it's going to be total eclipse.
It's just, that's all it means. It's a total eclipse. It's nothing. It happens. I saw a newspaper article from the 1970s and was like predicting the next solar eclipse will be, 2024, and people were like, wow, how can you predict that? How can you predict that, Frankie?
Another thing too is the solar eclipses have been happening for decades, like probably even before 1800. It's probably not the first time the solar eclipse has happened.
I think they've been happening longer.
You'll probably find it in
decades.
history.
They've been happening for
Centuries.
years, man.
Centuries.
I'm pretty shocked that you were able to find that newspaper article there, Joey, because I didn't think you could read.
I can read quite well, actually. That's why I have about 1,000 books on my shelves back there, and that's just one of the shelves in the house. So,
yeah, but they're all The Golden Spine for little kids, Hooked on
thanks.
Phonics.
I just haven't had enough people
Joey had
insult
to
me
learn
this-
how to speak after he left Ontario.
I haven't had enough people just needlessly diminish my character this week, so thank you.
I'm here to serve.
I basically don't, what I do is I like post something on Facebook and then people tell me I'm stupid so often that I just turn it off for the rest of the day. And it's like,
There's
okay, you win.
there's a lot of clowns, trolls, and haters out there.
Yeah, people are rude.
There's a lot of trolls and haters out there and clowns trying to, and they make each other, like, especially those teenagers and things like this.
And you can't listen to the haters.
Well, what people can do is they can go to their own Facebook and they can say what they want. And, maybe people could say, well, I don't know if I agree, but that doesn't mean that if they don't agree that they should go on all day. Anyways, any other questions for Frankie McDonald? Hildy McDonaldson, do you got Mike McGregor? You got a little bit of Eclipse coming. What question do you got for Frankie?
Okay, so out of all of the solar eclipses I've lived through in Winnipeg, every single one I have not been able to see because of cloud cover. What do you think the odds of that are happening again for another solar eclipse this year, Frankie?
Like the moon crosses over the sun.
Do you think we'll have more cloud cover here? Will I be able to see the sun?
It's going to be sunny that day.
Going to be sunny that day in Manitoba.
I count that in. That's a victory
I'm
for
talking
me.
about City, Nova Scotia, not Manitoba.
As for Manitoba, you get cloud.
Get wrecked, Manitoba.
Hey.
Any other questions for Frankie?
I have one. Now, if geese are flying over and there's an eclipse, do the geese all have to quickly find a place to land?
What happens to the geese during eclipses, Frankie?
They sleep.
They go honk. That's what they go.
I would say both literally and figuratively. I think you can say
Honk.
that's my kind of goose.
Yeah, these are Canadian geese, so they're probably really angry about it and try to attack the moon.
Well, if there's no other questions for Frankie McDonald, do stick around. We'll have more Frankie in the hour, and we will look at some of Frankie's newest videos. But first, let's go back to Brandon Hauk, the Brandon Hauk Report.
The Brandon Hauk Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Hauk Report.
Woo! Yes, the Brandon Hauk Report back inside. And, well, I don't know who that other guy was outside. He had all the clothes on and everything. Now I'm sitting in here, short sleeves. It's nice and comfortable inside compared to outside. Outside's kind of misty, and we've also had that rain, and we've had snow today. Snowflakes the size of Frosted Flakes cereal pretty much earlier today, with the first wave of precipitation that went through the area with the system. So we had that big snow last week. That all melted the last couple of days with temperatures in the teens. Now we're hovering right around freezing. We've got this next band of precipitation moving on up, and it's going to get here, I'd say, in the next half hour or so. So hopefully we'll get a glimpse of it before it gets too dark out there, but I think the snow is going to get pretty intense tonight with the next wave of precipitation moving in, as how convective it is. And we've even had thunderstorms around Great Falls and Missoula, Montana there in this last hour. So we're going to be watching that convection very closely as we get through the overnight hours of tonight, especially southeastern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan. Could in fact get some thunderstorm activity. Right, the first real deal thunderstorms of the season tonight, a possibility in those locations. That also, we're right on that warm front tonight into first thing tomorrow morning, so we're going to watch the potential for freezing rain along with the snow, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, plus the potential for freezing rain in the Brooks area and right down Highway 36 towards Tabor and in the Medicine Hat area. So we could have a couple hours of freezing rain first thing tomorrow morning, and then heavy snow backed up towards the foothills and the mountains. At least 15 to 25 centimeters of snow will fall in southwestern Alberta, and then areas a little further to the west, I'd say right around Brooks, will probably end up around that 10 centimeter mark, maybe 5-ish. I'd guess the further east you go, the lesser amount of snow you're going to get, but you're also going to get a lot of rain. So this system has been kind of compact, and no doubt about that, with the couple of impulses coming in out of the USA there. And we're going to continue to see a secondary round. So after this round tonight, we get another round of precipitation moving in Friday night into Saturday, and then another round of precipitation moving in on Saturday. And with the temperatures kind of fluctuating right above the melting point there, it's going to be pretty much the trick on how much snow we're going to get, especially east of the Rocky Mountains there. So, and then as we go into next week, everything settles down eventually by Monday, Sunday, Monday-ish, and then we'll see temperatures recover back up to at least teen territory here in parts of Alberta and parts of Saskatchewan. They don't need to recover. They were like 20 degrees the last couple of days. I'd say the hot spot was Cornack, Saskatchewan yesterday, 23 degrees. And we were dealing with the snow here in Alberta. So typical prairie weather for this time of year. And Manitoba looks like they're going to hold on to some of that milder air into next week as well. So a couple of wild stories, some of the wildest stories. So yes, Dollar Tree in the USA is upping their price up to $7. So that means they should be changing their name to Liar Trees, yeah. And also, finally, apparently they're sending some people up to the moon in the next couple of years, and they're thinking about planting up on the moon, seeing if plants can grow on the moon, which I don't think will, because there's no atmosphere up there, right?
Interestingly, the Chinese put some plants on the moon, and they put them in like they were in a dome or whatever. And they were successful. They did germinate, and they lasted for about 2 weeks until the 2 week long nighttime on the moon.
Oh,
So
yes.
that's going to be the real challenge: is are you going to have enough sunlight, because the moon gets a day on the moon is 2.5 weeks, so a night on the moon is 2.5 weeks. And Dollar Tree, I mean, I live in the US and like a good Dollar Tree visit every now and then. The UK equivalent is called Houndtown.
Houndtown. Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Joe Stover is the one who's probably the most, uncomfortable in his surroundings. So I'd like to just pick on him a little more here. Joe, you're on the train. Is it a Via Rail train? How many people are on this train, and how fast is the train going?
Well, and it's
That means his internet connection's acting up.
clicks or so, which is what's that, Frankie?
His internet connection is, Joe, your internet connection, it must be static, it must be conflict.
Oh yeah, it's not great, that's for sure. But yeah, it's takes about 4 hours to get from Toronto to Windsor, and train's a little late, but I love it. Never a bad day on the train.
That's the Via Rail train, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, the Via Rail train number 75.
I really enjoy going across Canada on the Via Rail train. It was an experience I would do again.
I don't know if you guys know, but the Via Rail train goes right by the Forks. So if you guys want to come to Winnipeg, it stops right by the Forks, and it's like they have some of the best food in Canada, Western Canada.
It's real good. I mean, I take the Churchill to Winnipeg train all the time, and so the Forks is always a must.
The one time I was waiting for the train in Winnipeg, and then the train was like 8 hours delayed. And then I bumped into some First Nations friend of mine, and then we went to some bar nearby that was really crazy and really fun. And then I came back to the train. Finally, when the train came in, it was like 2 a.m, and I'd had a lot to drink, and that's and I tried.
That must have been interesting.
And they let me on the train. I was like, "It's your fault. I'm in the state I'm in."
It's a good Winnipeg train story. Typical Winnipeg train story.
I was like, I just waited 9 hours for a train. What did you think I was going to do? Bump into some friends. And so that was a good time. I don't drink anymore. I feel really good. Do you like how much I cleaned up? So it's like men everywhere, but not Joe and not Brandon and not Hilding, but men everywhere. I realized this week that when the seasons change, they go, oh wow, I have to go get a haircut. Here I am at Joe's Barber Shop here in Quesnel. Joe, your last haircut didn't work.
Oh, yeah?
It came back.
I'll give you another one.
Yeah, it's like planned obsolescence around here. Just kidding, you're the best, buddy. Because I went into Joe's yesterday and there was like non-stop stream of people coming in. And even people saying like, oh, you're too busy, I'll come back another day. And it's like, that was definitely one of those moments at the barber shop where I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not special. I'm like, well, it's weather's changing, springtime, guess I'll go in for a haircut. Turns out like 20 other guys had the same idea. It's just wait in line for the next hour, please. Poor Joe hadn't eaten all day. Just cutting hair nonstop, trying to keep up with all the men who are going to the barber shop like Ma's attracted to a friggin' light. Haircuts, haircut. And Joe, I don't think this was the busiest week he had in so long. It was just happened to be the week I decided like, oh, I need to clean up. And then, so that's a thing that guys do. And then after I got rid of the beard and all the hair and everything. Okay, Joe, are you ready for this?
Yeah, we got a new haircut.
I couldn't open my phone, didn't recognize me, and then I went to walk back to my car, and the dog's like, "Bark!" And I was like, "It's me! Hey, I feed you!"
My wife cut my hair this week. Fresh buzz.
You ever embarrassed when I go in there? Joe cut my hair, and then I take the toque off, and then he trying to get a comb through my hair, which has been underneath a toque for months. Embarrassing. But it must be spring because I'm cleaned up. I was almost concerned that because it requires my face to open up my camera, I was concerned it wouldn't recognize me.
Oh, yeah? Same guy, right?
Thanks, Joe. Looks good as always, buddy.
Have a good one, buddy.
I'm just coming down to the Cottonwood River Valley now, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got my nice haircut, thanks, Joe. And here we see you can see the convection. You can see the wisps of moisture getting thrust upwards. It's very beautiful. As you can see, the storm is up ahead, looking real nice. Gonna go drive into her and see what's in there. I imagine some grapple hail is in the future. Well, I like your haircut and all, Joe. And for sure it is haircut time in Quesnel. But as you see when you get out here to Wells, it's imperative that you still have a way to keep the hail off your head. So it's still officially toque time here. Yep. Still officially toque time in Wells, BC. Guys everywhere are doing this. He even shaved my eyebrows before I could ask him if it's okay for guys to have their eyebrows shaved.
I shaved my eyebrows, and part of my eyebrow was missing from my grad photo in grade 12. So I have a story to tell my kids one day.
Like he put the thing up there, and I was like, I was about to ask, like, is it okay for men to shave their eyebrows? Like,
it doesn't look good. I've done it.
You can't.
I can tell you, it does not look good.
I have white eyebrows. They're kind of hard to see.
Joe has shaved his eyebrows white.
I know a radio host who can't grow eyebrows.
You got those polar eyebrows.
That's right. Oh, speaking of polar, we just got a report today that there's a polar bear in Churchill today, which for April is unheard of, really, because there should be all of the Hudson Bay, which should be frozen the whole way. But there is a bit of a lead on the west coast of the Hudson Bay that the south wind kind of pushed up, and it stranded a bear, and there is a bear in town today. Not usual for this time of year in Churchill.
For the polar, we play dead. No, polar bears eat dead things.
Still quite cold here in Wells, British Columbia.
Blow on that fire, Joey.
The fireplace.
It's so warm here in Winnipeg. We had to turn some of our radiators off. We can't get we have an old radiating system here in the house here. So we turn it down to 15 and it's still hot. I'm like, well, open a window. Opening a window is not going to do much because that heat's still going to radiate throughout the house. So
that's what hoodies are for. Listen, guys, getting a little spotty connection here, so I better go. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend.
Nice meeting you, Joe.
Goodbye,
Good to
Joe.
see you again, Stover. That's Joe Stover from the How Do You Do review on CKUW Radio. The show also broadcasts on CFUR 88.7 FM at Prince George on Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. We were saying good morning, Prince George, for quite a few episodes, and the show was actually airing in the afternoon. And it re-airs at 4 o'clock on the afternoon on Tuesdays So I don't know how many times people heard us say, "Good morning, Prince George," and it wasn't the morning when they were hearing it. However, also on CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops and Rogers Television, Vancouver Island. Comedeorological report. Who wants to go next? Who's got something to talk about? We got people who love weather still ready to give their weather analysis. We got Mark, we got Mike, we got Hilding the farmer, Mike McBride.
Okay, so for Manitoba, last couple of days, there's a lot of snow melting. Barely any of it left on the ground. The grass is showing. Moisture levels are really high for some reason. I'm walking on the grass and you can hear it all soppy. It's like when you're sloshing around in mud. It's the same sound. So I think our soil moisture is pretty high. I'm looking at one of the weather models and it looks like we're going to have high pressure for the next 2 to 3, 4 days. And then there's a low pressure system that develops towards Sunday stateside. And it looks like it's going to swing and to the Great Lakes. Decaying pressure, low pressure, and it looks like that cloud cover with that system is going to sneak into Manitoba on Monday evening after the eclipse. So for those who want to see the eclipse, to be able to see it here, our temperatures have actually been quite nice. I'm kind of surprised at how warm it's been so early in the year. Normally around this time of year, it'd be like +5, +6, +7. It's actually going to +15 it's going to +18 next Wednesday. We're going to be in the teens throughout the rest of this week, and I don't see overnight lows dropping below 0. So I think the spring has actually arrived in Manitoba, and we're going to take some heat next week. I see a high of 20 degrees on Wednesday the 10th. So all that snow in western Manitoba is likely going to melt. I've seen some photos already of snow melting, and there's ponds. People's backyards are becoming lakes in western Manitoba. And I got some funny news stories. Bees cause a buzz and likely disruption at Indian Wells tennis during Alcaraz versus Zverev match. It apparently they had more than 100 bees. I'm reading this from apnews.com, odd news articles.
Most definitely Calgary does. Right now,
News headlines
so something
across the
crazy
country.
happened.
Goat arrested after walking to Saskatchewan Tim Hortons, refusing to leave. He was very unhappy.
Did he get a bad order?
Here we go. Sun setting on top of Cow Mountain. So here we are. That's what you see just the top of the mountain here, because we are in the hanging valley here in Wells. But when she goes pink pretty soon, it might be quite nice. You usually get that little top of the mountain turns pink in a minute. So that's just what's going on here right now.
Do you know what that's called, Joey?
It's called awesome.
It's called alpenglow.
Alpenglow.
That's the word.
Alpineer glow.
Mark Ingalls, you're down there in Arkansas. What do you got for us this week? Meteorologist Mark Ingalls.
Hello from Bella Vista, Arkansas, land of Walmart. Walmart is from Bentonville, just south of here. It was a beautiful day today, crystal clear skies, a little bit of a breeze. We had a high right around 17, but this morning with the crystal clear skies, our low was like +1. So it was pretty chilly this morning, and my daughter wanted to go play outside, but I sat out there for about 5 minutes, and of course, being from Portland, I'm a real weenie when it comes to anything below 10C or above 25C. That's my range, and throwing a breeze, and it was a little chilly, but we went out this afternoon, and it was pretty nice. Looking forward to the solar eclipse. That's what I'm here for. Totality doesn't pass right over here, but we're staying with my wife's family, and we're gonna hopefully drive over to Mountain Home. We rented a car, and I told my wife I'm willing to go as far west as Austin and as far east as Columbus. And early on, it looked like it was going to be pretty rough conditions here in Arkansas. It looks pretty rough still in Texas. Of course, totality begins in Mexico, or it hits North America in Mexico. There's going to be some high clouds there associated with disturbance moving out of the desert southwest. maybe some scattered mid-level clouds as well. High clouds are usually pretty thin, so we don't really have to. We should be able to see the eclipse through some high clouds, but some more graphic lift there on the mountains, especially facing the Pacific Ocean. That'll generate difficult viewing conditions there, and then isolated to scattered high clouds throughout the mountains. Kind of wanes a little bit closer to the Rio Grande. Texas, though, that low that Michael was talking about, starting in Colorado and heading towards the Great Lakes, that's going to drape a cold front across the central portion of the United States. And what that's going to do is this low is going to weaken as it crosses like Minnesota. And as it does, the cold front's going to kind of a little bit detach from it and kind of just stall out somewhere between like Houston and Dallas. That's a little bit south of the path of totality, but there is a good chance of thunderstorms around San Antonio. And so, especially the southern portion of the path of totality in Texas, that's a pretty good risk of not seeing it because of thunderstorms. And then there's going to be high clouds coming off these storms. And so the closer you are to the storms, and these extend along the line from like San Antonio to Shreveport, Louisiana to Nashville, Tennessee. Closer you are to that line, the lower chance of seeing the eclipse because you'll be under the thicker clouds. Further away, it looks like there'll still be some high clouds, but pretty translucent, I think is the word.
Yeah, I just
So
wanted to
northeast,
quickly interject. I saw that low. It's going to move through northern plains into southern Manitoba. Do you think that GFS is wrong on over broadening the cloud cover? Because it shows a lot more cloud cover than the GDPS does.
so that's actually a really good question. The GFS typically pretty well overdoes cloud cover. This is a normal thing with the GFS because of its lower resolution. But for Winnipeg specifically, there, Michael, I think you've got a 50-50 shot of seeing it because of your proximity to the low. It's going to depend a lot on where the low actually is during the eclipse. And it could be anywhere from like Duluth, Minnesota to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Closer it is to you, the less likely it is to see it. And we should have a clearer picture here in the next couple of days. In Arkansas, where I am at, it looks like mostly just some high clouds. If that line of thunderstorms uh, ends up stalling a little bit further north than the models have it, then we may be in for some trouble. But then towards the northeast here, Missouri, or as they call it there, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, these all look pretty favorable. Maybe some scattered high clouds, but they're really in between weather systems there. High clouds in Ohio, and then in the highland areas, they're kind of like along the Pennsylvania border, into Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and south of Toronto. Sort of idea. The upper level winds are going to be splitting. Some of it's going to be going kind of more northerly, and some of it's going to be going kind of southerly. That may generate some clouds there between about Cleveland and Buffalo, and then up into like Niagara Falls and Hamilton and whatever. But the best shot of seeing the solar eclipse is like Burlington, Vermont, Montreal, and then some of these other French Canadian towns that I'm not going to try and butcher on the radio.
I just wanted to mention that Justin, he said that he's going to Texas to see it. So
Yes.
I hope that he has some fortune down there because it doesn't look like there's going to be much clearing for him.
Yes, he may be in a rough spot. Maybe he should have flown to Indianapolis instead of Dallas. But
It's looking
once you
stormy
commit,
that week on Monday there, especially like south of Arkansas. It looks like where the best chance of thunderstorms seem to be, eh?
right? That's absolutely right. So if he has a rental car in Dallas and can go northeast, that looks like the best option. And then let's see. So Quebec, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, those all look pretty good, as well as New Brunswick. And as we get further east, we're looking at the strong low pressure system off Newfoundland. What that's going to do is it's going to be real crappy eclipse viewing conditions in Newfoundland proper. Maybe some high clouds over in Nova Scotia, but like further south, those will be pretty see through there, and so Frankie will be able to thoroughly enjoy the eclipse, I think. Prince Edward Island, going backwards here a little bit, along with New Brunswick, should be pretty good. So that's a look at the weather. We're looking really closely at 3 weather systems. A low coming out of the desert southwest into Texas, a low crossing Minnesota, and the low off the coast of Newfoundland. And that's what I have for that. And then for the news, if you are really, really bored in British Columbia and you feel like driving down to Portland, Oregon, next, not this upcoming Saturday. Of course, some of you hear this, and this is last Saturday. But we're talking on Saturday, April 13, is the infamous Lads 500. This is a bicycle relay at Lads Circle in Portland. Lads Circle is like it's in the inner part of Portland, and it's this planned neighborhood. The streets are all like diagonal and fancy, and it's got this little circle in the middle that has a circumference of about 400 meters. And what you do is you get your team of 1 to 13 people, show up with your bikes, and you do your relay for 500 laps, bringing you to a total of 100 miles or 160 something kilometers. And if you don't want to ride your bike, you can just party in the park that's in the circle there. And the tagline here is it's spring. Let's do something stupid. So there you go. If you want to do something stupid, drive down to Portland, Oregon, where you can ride your bike around a 400-meter circumference circle and wonder
That's
why
pretty
you're doing
funny.
it.
That sounds like the roundabouts in Winnipeg. The year they're opening
Yes.
up corner. I don't know if
Joey,
you heard,
your birthday's coming up soon, Joey.
My birthday is coming up soon, Frankie, and we do have afterglow starting on the mountains right now. There's the afterglow, the alpenglow.
It's
Oh, that
pretty
reminds
beautiful.
me.
It's not a good one tonight, but it's happening in time for show.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah. The problem is, if it's not something that you own the rights to, we can't.
I took this picture myself. I took it myself. Imogen, when you're watching, I took this picture and I give express permission for it to be on any television channel in Canada.
Imogen, I don't believe him, but let's go with it anyways.
All right, here we go. Cue up screen 2 here. Share. And can you see my little jellyfish clouds here?
Yeah, that's right. Everyone in Portland was going crazy this week over jellyfish clouds.
That looks like hearts too.
These were all throughout the Pacific Northwest, not just Portland. I took this picture at the Oregon Zoo near the polar bear exhibit. So like Joe Stover there, I experienced some polar bears, and the polar bear was just like pancaked out, just lounging in the sun.
Must have been terrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
They look like
horrifying trip to
guys.
the
They
zoo.
kind of look a bit like angels almost.
Yeah, a little bit. And what we got going on here is we get some alto cumulus. So
And Virga.
and the Virga coming down. So the alto cumulus formed because there was a small unstable layer about 5 kilometers up. And then that caused rising air and a moist layer that created clouds, but those clouds were inhibited from going very much higher because we had a cap, so like a temperature inversion. The heat could not go any higher above that. And so these were really short clouds. And then they were able to precipitate out what we're actually looking at as snow rather than rain. We typically think of Virga as rain, but this is snow. And so instead of evaporating before hitting the ground, it sublimated, which is when it goes from a solid straight to a gas instead of solid liquid gas. So this is pretty interesting. They look like jellyfish for our radio viewers who are listening to me talk about something that you will not see. And it was just neat. These were all throughout Portland, Oregon. Kennewick, Washington had a lot of reports of these, and kind of up the Columbia Basin there. And these are kind of common. I think you probably see them pretty often in British Columbia on certain days too. I don't know, maybe Alberta too. I don't know about the climate well enough in the rest of Canada to say, but I took this picture myself. Let it be known, and it is okay to show on Rogers Television.
There we go. It's okay to show that on Rogers Television. Frankie McDonald, is it okay to show your videos of the week on Rogers Television? All right, everybody. It's time for some Frankie McDonald on Rogers Television. Oh, wait, that's not the Frankie video. All right, everybody. It's time for some Frankie McDonald. What am I doing?
The guy dances and raining quesadillas. 50 quesadillas at once. Here's putting beef and shredded cheese and beans and lettuce on the quesadillas. Beef and cheese. Cooking quesadillas now. Keep on cooking quesadillas. It's ready. I want to eat 50 quesadillas at once. Eat them all right now. Eat those quesadillas right now.
Oh, not 50 quesadillas. Frankie, that's bad for you eating 50 quesadillas.
I disagree. It's got grain. He's got meat in there. He's got a cheese. Like, I think this is very healthy.
I can't take it anymore. Get in. Go. I can't take it anymore. I told you, eat 10 more quesadillas.
I can't take it anymore.
Don't go fall down.
Don't go falling down when you're eating 50 quesadillas, guy.
Yeah, if you fall down, you might not be able to get back up.
Dogs are coming. More dogs.
Eating 50 quesadillas and then getting chased by more dogs.
The dogs finally got away.
A good thing, otherwise he'd be puking.
Thanks for watching on Frank Down. And they had an earthquake somewhere in the world. People in Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever.
Oh, man.
This is Frank McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Taiwan just had a 7.4 magnitude earthquake on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Another major earthquake is going to happen in Taiwan anytime soon. There will be a lot of aftershocks going to happen anytime soon in Taiwan, including Taipei, Taiwan. It's going to bring a lot of aftershocks after a big earthquake. Be extra prepared. If you're during the earthquake, go underneath the tables, go underneath the chairs. If you outdoors, don't go inside the building. During earthquake, lock your dishes in your cupboards. Make sure your flashlights, candles, crank your radio, extra batteries, generators, battery off energies, and bottled water ready as well. Start doing your earthquake drills because Taiwan has 7.4 magnitude earthquake. Did a lot of shaking, and there's a tidal wave and things like this in Taiwan. I want every single person in Taiwan to be extra prepared for the next major earthquake. It did lots of damage to buildings and things like this, cracked the roads and knock off power and damage telephone posts and bring down power lines in Taiwan. It was really bad earthquake, 7.4 magnitude earthquake, did a lot of damage to Taiwan. Be extra prepared, be safe.
I like the Japan camera in the background there.
Okay guys, we're gonna do some dancing. Let's show me my moves.
Here's Frankie doing some dancing. He's got the moves where first he goes the arms above the head. He does the spin around, the spinorama, then the arms back above the head. Feet shuffling, arms back above the head. Feet shuffling, spinorama. There's Frankie dancing. That's what it looks like. He goes one side to the other, back and forth. There he goes. He's doing the shuffle, doing the shuffle.
Sounds like dark clouds are coming.
Dark clouds are coming.
It sounds like more dark clouds are coming. Oh my god, it's raining quesadillas. It's raining beef and cheese. Shredded cheese and beef. It's raining more quesadillas. A lot of quesadillas fall from the sky. Even more quesadillas fall from the sky now. More quesadillas fall from the sky.
Does anybody look to see what the terminal velocity of a quesadilla is?
Quesadillas will not stop anytime now.
They will not stop anytime now.
Quesadillas.
Whatever the velocity
More
is.
quesadillas come from the sky. Fall from the sky. Oh my god, we're in the center of the storm. Oh my god, quesadillas starts again. Rain quesadillas.
Even more on the backside, eh,
More
Frankie?
quesadillas. Oh my god.
That's how they get you.
Quesadillas. It's more.
I'm wondering what happens when you get stuck in the cheese.
Finally stopped. I got shove out.
That big quesadilla banks.
Frankie should do a Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs skit.
Thanks for watching on Frankie Down.
That was a pretty good one, Frankie.
This
My
is
Montreal
Frankie
forecast too.
McDonald, my old TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Massive winter storm is head towards Nova Scotia on Thursday, April 4, 2024. It's going to bring up to 50 plus centimeters of snow, especially in eastern Bayland and Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. May even reach up to 200 centimeters of snow, or even 300 plus centimeters of snow possible. It's going to bring 20 centimeters of snow in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's also going to hit Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Maine, USA, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, and even Ontario and Quebec, including Bonaventure, Quebec. It's going to hit Toronto, Nova Scotia, Yarmouth, Sydney, Nova Scotia, and Shantycamp, Nova Scotia, Granny Thames, Nova Scotia, surrounding areas. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really strong. It's going to cause blowing, drifting snow, reduced visibilities, dangerous and treacherous driving conditions. It's going to bring really bad driving conditions in streets, roads, highways, and Trans-Canada Highway will be snow covered. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be very strong. It's going to cause great, big, huge, giant snow drifts and really blowing snow, drifting snow, reduced visibilities, really dangerous driving conditions as well. People in Nova Scotia, be prepared. Have winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarf and ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure your smartphone, cell phone, laptop, tablet, charge. Have a 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE rent race well. When you drive a car, take your drive a car slow down so you don't get in a car accident. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnace is ready and turn on your furnace to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea to keep warm. Add for extra blankets, rain, keep it warm as well. Make sure for your shovels, snow scoops, snow blowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If you have anybody live in Nova Scotia, be prepared for massive winter storm on Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a massive winter storm. Stay warm, be safe.
They got 2 more videos to go. My main forecast in my Montreal.
Yeah, but it's 7:53 already, Frankie. We are sort of running out of time, buddy. So we had to pick the 5 that were sort of the best. But that's going on right now. That's why you're inside, right, Frankie? Because there's a big storm going on. There's weather warnings.
It's drizzling right now. It's raining.
Go ahead.
It's raining and windy in my area as of right now.
There's wreck house winds going on in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Lay sweat winds up in the strait there between you and PEI.
I have some concerning news for Winnipeggers and for those who live in the prairies.
Concerning news for Winnipeg and the prairies.
From CBC, Winnipeg may stop fogging for adult mosquitoes once existing pesticide supply runs out. City of Winnipeg may end the decades-long practice of fogging for adult nuisance mosquitoes because this pesticide it uses is no longer being made. A new report says Winnipeg has brought up all the remaining Canadian stock of Delta Guard pesticide the city has used for adult nuisance mosquito fogging since 2017 when it replaced methionine. The city has now enough Delta Guard on hand to fog for mosquitoes in the next 2 to 4 years. Depending on the next 2 summers. However, it looks like they'll have to go through an expensive licensing process that would make no economic sense for manufacturers, he said. So if you guys want to look it up, improving larviciding, less fogging, it's on CBC's website. It's concerning to me because mosquitoes are really bad every summer here. Like, it gets bad enough that I feel like I'm living in a mosquito apocalypse some summers. So if you want to know what being alive is, we have the equivalent of that in the Canadian prairie provinces, and it's not fun.
I just love the mosquitoes where I grew up in cottage country because cottage country is north of us, the land of lakes, all the pretty lakes. But in the land of swamps where I was, all there was black fly, horse fly, beer fly, booze fly. No, seen them done. Ticks, fleas, tories, everything that gets in your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your nose, your butthole, your plans. Non-stop. You couldn't even go outside. Maybe you wouldn't want to. And I would just think to myself, man, there's a reason why all the Torontonians are going into Halliburton right now. Feed my pretties, multiply, keep the city folk away. That's how I feel. And now someday I'll inherit mums. bungalow in the swamp. Can't wait. Canadian Shield. I love it. I didn't mean to get stuck in the mountain.
Shrek rings a bell. Get off my swamp.
I love the swamp, man.
I have a question
I'm a
for
mountain man
Hilding.
now. We didn't talk to Hilding at all tonight, did we?
I know. I have a question for
Hilding's the
him.
last guy to talk about that before the plugs.
You don't be so quiet all the time, Hilding. Gosh, polite cowboys.
He's too busy making horse noises last weekend.
Hilding will be the last person to talk
suck at
before
that.
the.
Hilding,
Mark had a
are you
question.
going
What was
to
it?
have any calves come out during the eclipse? Because you will have a partial eclipse up there. Is it going to happen? Will there be a dark calf?
Well, we're quite likely to have calves being born that day, and it's hard to say how the cows will react to it. Cows are usually pretty docile; they'll just stand around and do their thing. But they do clump in one corner of the pasture when there's odd phenomenon in the weather. So, yeah, we don't know
that'll be
what's gonna happen.
interesting. If you have a calf during the eclipse, I want it to be named Luna.
Yeah, you know what a cow eclipse is? It's when a cow goes to jump over the moon, but it gets in the way of the moon instead. It doesn't quite make it, and it blocks out the moon. You're like,
I see that happening every time there's a lunar eclipse. The cow got stuck in front of the moon.
There's always cows jumping up and getting in the way of the moon. You know how them bovine are. You know how them bovine is. Killing.
Yeah,
I'm so
real
sorry
high
we did not
jumpers.
talk to you. Like, legitimately, my old friend.
I didn't have a lot of stuff planned this week anyway, but we are seeing geese coming back, and our lakes are starting to get little pockets of places for geese to land, so we're enjoying that. There's just we're having the April phenomenon where the weather goes through in little bursts, where we have little bursts of cloud and little bursts of snow, and then real nice bright sunny weather again. So kind of my favorite time of the year for that.
As for me, I think it's really cold here still, and I'm sick of it. But honestly, this is like the least amount of snow I've ever seen here in Wells, so it could be any time now. Frankie, how do people find you on the internet?
If you want to find me on social media, my Blue Sky's at Frankie MacD, my Twitter's at Frankie MacD, my Linktree is Frankie MacDonald, my Facebook is Frankie MacDonald, my Instagram is Frankie MacD1984, my TikTok is Frankie Down1984, my Clapper is Frankie Down1984, my Twitch is Frankie Down1984, my Snapchat is Frankie MCD1, my YouTube channel is Dogs Moves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie Down. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
You can also follow us on Weather Center Manitoba. Me, Justin Ortel, and me, Mike McGregor, will run that page too.
And that concludes the Thursday, April 4th episode of the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology on CKUW and CFUR and CFBX and Rogers Television. Thank you very much, all of you, for having us. You can also find the live stream on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. We live stream there every Thursday night, generally starting at 6:30, but always by 7 o'clock for sure. And then something weird happened with the last stream tonight. I'm really sorry about that. We had to do it twice, but it all worked out in the end all together. Thanks everybody for supporting us. I think that's the show, Frankie.
That's the show.
Okay, is that the show, everybody?
That's the show.
That's the show.
Good job, guys.
Hey, Brandon Hauk, that's the show.
Oh, yes, that is definitely the show.
Mike and Hilding, that's the show. And Mark Ingalls, I'm not sure if you knew this, but that's the show. And also, Joey Owner, that's the show. Okay, that's the show.
Hey, Joey,
That's
that's the show, Joey.
Wait, I'm going to say this. That's the show.
Okay, well, that's, bye.
Bye.
It's the Comedeorological Report. Fires and tornadoes are knocking down your door. You never seen a show like us before, so you'll turn us off, of course. Let's talk a little comedy and meteorology. Welcome to the show with Joey Only and Frankie. Hilding, Olivier, Chris and Mark too. Brandon and Imogen, Stover and you.